1. Democrats walk out. The controversy over Emil Bove's judicial nomination. 2. Democrats storm out of Senate vote on Trump's controversial nominee Emil Bove. 1. Democrats walk out. The controversy over Emil Bove's judicial nomination. In a dramatic turn of events, Democrats have raised serious doubts about the advancement of Emil Bove's judicial nomination after staging a walkout during a crucial Senate Judiciary Committee meeting. This meeting, which took place on Thursday, was intended to push forward the nomination of Bove, a senior official in the Justice Department and a former personal attorney for President Donald Trump, for a federal judgeship. Democrats accused their Republican counterparts of hastily pushing the nomination process without allowing adequate discussion. A representative for Senator Dick Durbin, the leading Democrat on the committee from Illinois, expressed that the situation has left the future of Bove's nomination, as well as that of Jeanine Pirro, a former Fox News host nominated for U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, in a state of uncertainty. The spokesperson claimed that the Republican majority had violated several procedural rules, and Democrats are prepared to present their case to the Senate parliamentarian to argue that the votes should be invalidated. On the other hand, a spokesperson for Senator Chuck Grassley, the committee's chairman and a Republican from Iowa, asserted that there is no contention regarding the nominations. They believe that both Bove's nomination to the Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, based in Philadelphia, and Pirro's nomination can proceed to a full Senate vote. Tensions escalated when Grassley announced the vote on Bove's nomination, despite some Democratic members still wishing to voice their opinions. Senator Cory Booker, a Democrat from New Jersey, expressed his outrage, stating, "This is out of order. This is absolutely insane. What is the rush?" He further criticized the process, saying, "If you want to force this through, if you want to ram this through, there's a way to do this in accordance with the rules. This lacks decency. It lacks decorum. It shows you do not want to simply hear from your colleagues. This is absolutely wrong, and you don't even seem to care." Booker labeled the situation as an abuse of power before exiting the meeting in protest. After the vote concluded, Grassley defended his actions by claiming he was following a precedent set during the time when Democrats held the majority, accusing them of obstructing the process. He stated, "This is not unprecedented, either the actions of the minority walking away or what we did here as a majority. It's happened before, and we have to move things along." In response, Booker clarified that the previous incident Grassley referenced was fundamentally different, as it involved a process that would have delayed the vote for hours. He argued, "This is the preemptive cutting off of debate because they didn't want to hear the truth about a nominee." Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat from Connecticut, voiced his frustration over the Republicans' refusal to allow testimony from a whistleblower. This whistleblower had informed senators that Bove had suggested to him and other Justice Department officials that they might need to disregard court orders to carry out Trump's mass deportation agenda. Blumenthal remarked, "I haven't seen anything like it in 15 years in the United States Senate, just overriding roughshod the rules of the committee to silence members in this way on nominees for lifetime appointments on the federal court who are unfit and unqualified. We can disagree about whether they should be on the court, but not about the rules that put them there." This unfolding drama raises significant questions about the integrity of the nomination process and the balance of power within the Senate. What do you think about the actions taken by both parties? Are they justified in their approaches, or do they reflect deeper issues within the political landscape? Share your thoughts in the comment. 2. Democrats storm out of Senate vote on Trump's controversial nominee Emil Bove. Tempers flared. Senate Democrats walk out over contentious Trump judicial nominee. Every so often, politics delivers a jaw-dropping spectacle, and Thursday's Senate Judiciary Committee meeting was a prime example. In a scene that reflected the deep tension gripping Washington, Democratic senators abruptly exited an executive committee gathering, just moments before a pivotal vote to promote President Donald Trump's controversial judicial pick, Emil Bove, to the Senate floor. But here's where things get particularly heated. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, visibly frustrated, implored Republican Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley to pause the rushed proceedings. Booker pleaded for the committee to properly weigh allegations against Bove, which surfaced in a whistleblower report filed by former Justice Department Attorney Erez Reuveni. Arguing that Rule 4 of the committee's guidelines allowed for extended debate, Booker insisted on more time to discuss the serious concerns, but Grassley refused and pushed ahead with the vote. The rejection triggered Democratic members to leave the room in protest, signaling fierce opposition. Just before storming out, Booker challenged Grassley directly. "What are you afraid of?" he demanded, his voice rising. "Isn't our job to deliberate openly and transparently? Dear God, this is why we're here." The tension in the room was palpable, as Booker accused Grassley of stifling necessary debate and violating the committee's core principles of civility and discussion. "You are a decent man," Booker said, attempting a last appeal to Grassley's sense of fairness, so why refuse a short extension for honest argument before forcing the vote? And this is the part most people miss. This wasn't just dramatic theatrics, it was a protest against what Democrats labeled as a procedural breach. Booker wasn't alone. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island added literary weight, quoting Shakespeare, "There's something rotten in Denmark," casting further doubt on the committee's integrity. Whitehouse and others joined Booker in admonishing Republicans for refusing to consider the whistleblower's allegations or heed the appeals of dozens of former federal and state judges, plus hundreds of ex-federal prosecutors, urging rejection of Bove's nomination to a lifetime post. Despite almost an hour of impassioned debate, the committee voted strictly along party lines, moving Bove's nomination forward, leaving sharp divisions exposed. Notably, Democrats argued that their Republican colleagues lacked candor and had ignored urgent calls for further examination of Bove's record. They pointed to the number of legal professionals on record opposing Bove as unprecedented. But could this episode be just partisan politics, business as usual? Or is something deeper at stake? Bove, nominated to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, has sparked outrage since Trump announced his selection earlier in the year. Detractors allege that Bove's career and potential lifetime appointment pose risks for the fairness of the judiciary. This tension mirrors Trump administration complaints about so-called activist judges allegedly obstructing the president's agenda, especially on divisive questions like immigration and border security. Nevertheless, Bove's path to full Senate confirmation seems increasingly fraught with controversy and doubt, particularly as the whistleblower claims continue to hang over the process. Speaking to reporters after the walkout, Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut described the Republican-led vote as a blatant rule violation, calling it the most flagrant disregard for Senate norms I've seen in 15 years. Blumenthal's comments echoed growing concerns about the erosion of long-standing checks and balances in the nomination process. Here's where the counterpoint stirs the pot. Chairman Grassley, in response to the walkout and accusations, countered that this isn't the first time such expedited votes have occurred. He reminded colleagues that under a Democratic majority just 2 years prior, Democrats had fast-tracked judicial nominees despite Republican objections, referencing the nominations of Mustafa Karsubay and Yumi K. Lee. Chairman Dubin ordered the vote then, just like I did now, Grassley stated, arguing that neither accelerating votes nor minority walkouts are unprecedented. So, where does the truth lie? Is this a matter of sore losers and shifting precedents? Or does it reveal a deeper breakdown in political civility and institutional trust? Let's open up the floor. Do you agree with the Democrats' walkout or the Republicans standing firm? Was this a necessary protest, or an empty political gesture? Where should the line be drawn between efficiency and fair deliberation when appointing judges to lifetime positions? Share your opinions, challenge the consensus, and let's have a real discussion, because this is exactly the kind of moment that shapes the future of our democracy.